Yeah, good to get a win going into Christmas, but I give Kennesaw State a lot of credit. You know, we came out kind of punched them in the mouth, got up early, we're up 30 early in the second half. And then they just kept playing, hung in there. I think it's a tribute to the culture Antoine's built over there. They didn't quit. You know, they ended up, after we got up 30, they outscored us by 19 the rest of the game. So a little disappointed in our effort in playing with a lead. You know, we got out rebounded by 5 again, which has been an issue. So we still got a lot of work to do, but you know, I think our guys' intentions to start the game were great. We had really good defensive energy, stops. We just haven't been able to maintain it for 40 minutes, and you know, we got to get better at it. But you know, I thought individually some guys had decent games. This is Aiden's career high. You know, so we had 21 and 7. A couple blocks go along with it. I thought our guards did a good job finding them. You know, we had 17 assists, only 8 turnovers, so that there's definitely some positives. But defensive intensity, focus, attention to detail on the defensive end, not there in the second half. We gave up 53 to them in the second half, so we've got to get significantly better on that end of the floor before SEC play starts.
Question.
Steve. Coach, Steve Holton, WTTN here in Huntsville. What was your message to the team post-game?
Yeah, I said, like, it's not easy being great. If you get up 30, where's the leadership to make sure we keep playing that hard? If we're going to try to compete for championships, we need somebody to lead us when all of a sudden that lead starts slipping away. Who's going to be the guy to, like, get the energy back where it needs to be? Right now, we don't have it. So we got some really talented basketball players. We don't have a collective group of leaders that are going to make sure that we stay locked in and engaged and intense like we need to, particularly on the defensive end of the floor at all times. And it goes both ways, to be honest with you. We've had it where it's going really well, we get up 30 and then we just disengage. We've also had it where against Arizona, stuff starts to get difficult. We miss a few shots, and then all of a sudden we lose it and don't play hard. So it doesn't matter what happens on offensive end. It doesn't matter what happens with referees' calls. It doesn't matter what happens with your missed shots, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, the defensive intensity has to stay where it needs to be. And we got to get some leaders that make sure it stays where it needs to be, no matter what the score is moving forward.
Thomas.
Aiden, you had a really good first half start. Can you talk about maybe what you and the team were seeing to kind of break away there?
Really, the guards was finding me a lot. Just they were mixing up the coverages and everything, and I was just trying to get my teammates open, and they happened to find me a lot.
Go right here.
Yeah, he's tough, makes tough plays on the glass. You know, he ended up being our leading rebounder with 8. We got to find somebody at that 4 spot who can rebound the ball and still give us some offensive skills as well, kind of combination of both. And he's looking like, you know, he's going to be able to do it. I didn't think his hip, it's still bothering him. He's got it all bandaged up and everything, but it looked like it was a lot better than it had been against Arizona. He played a lot more passive in that Arizona game. He brought his aggressiveness back to this camp, so it's great to have him back in. You know, I think these 4 days off over Christmas will be really good for him. Get his hip totally all healed up, I hope, so he can kind of take that aggressiveness to the offensive end as well as the rebounding stuff.
Right here.
What kind of growth have you seen from Aiden, not just from last season, but like since the start?
I mean, look, he was not the rim protector he is right now. 2 months ago, we challenged him after the kind of the summer and fall. Like, we got to get some rim protection. We're missing it. He's second in the country in blocks per game. He didn't have as many this game. You know, they do a pretty good job spreading you out, which, you know, he wasn't able to get in there and block as many shots as he had been in the past. But I mean, shoot, man, he's made huge leaps in that area of rim protection. I think he's getting better guarding even without blocking a shot, guarding post players. You know, we had an issue last year where all these post players were just having their way with us, and they're not anymore. And we've faced some of the best post players in the country, and he's done a really good job. locking him up without us having a double. So our defensive issues are not with him. There's a lot of them. They're not with him. We got too many breakdowns from the perimeters, kind of 1 through 4. We've got too many rebounding issues from a lot of places, but he's really stepped up, grown a lot in his interior defense, rim protection. Offensively, he's playing with a lot more pop too. So he's made huge strides here in his play over the last month and a half.
Go in the back here.
Urban 2031, Aiden, where do you feel like the team needs to improve for SEC play?
I would definitely say defensively and especially rebounding. It's a big emphasis that coach has been put on it, and you got to make changes in order to win those games because we're playing different competition. So we got to step it up a notch.
We'll go in the back here.
Nick Kuzma, Fox reporter, Huntsville, Nate, welcome back. You mentioned Antoine, just what did you see from him when he was an assistant that first showed he could take a program, build it through a 19-game winner with already with spirit?
Yeah, he's really good with people, like one of the best individuals I've ever been around, coaches, whoever, it doesn't even matter what profession they're in. His ability to connect with people, make them feel special, genuinely pour into them. That made him a great recruiter, it made him a great assistant coach. I think it's making him a great head coach. He works very hard. He's one of those guys who there's no real office hours. If it's got to get done, it gets done. He's got a sense of humility about him. He's doing really well at Kennesaw. Hasn't changed him at all. He's still the same person that you met back when he was probably GA here and I didn't even know him. Because I think he's got a really good energy about him. Kids are going to trust him when in the recruitment process to be responsible for their career. Mothers are going to trust him to make sure he takes care of, like Davin Cosby was here for a year. He's over there. Davin went through a really bad car wreck this summer. I had a chance to go see him at the hospital up there north of Atlanta. I saw Davin's mom, Davin's on the sideline. He's going through rehab. I keep Davin in my prayers. Hopefully you guys do the same. He's got a long recovery back. It was a really bad accident, but man, Antoine was up there like every day up at the hospital. Like just that's the stuff he does that you can't coach, teach. It's like you care about people, and he's one of the best individuals I know that actually genuinely cares about everybody around him.
Last question right here.
Yeah, I mean, we got to get some rebounding in the front court. So if you don't want to rebound, you're not going to play. So you got to learn how to make some tough plays. We got to get rebounding. We put Amari at that 4 spot. I think London will come back and do it. He was hurt. We tried him at that 4 spot last game. He's proven he's tough enough to get in there and get some rebounds. We got to get some toughness, some physicality, some rebounding, from the interior. We're on our guards to do it too. So I think they're more than capable of doing it. LeBaron had 10 defensive rebounds against Arizona, who's one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. So he's got to lock in. Holloway's got to lock in. Reitzel ended up with the blue collar award. He had the hard hat after the game. He ended up with 15 points, a lot of deflections. He got 3 defensive rebounds in the second half. He can do it, but your front court has to lead the way in the rebounding, and we've got major rebounding issues. So we got to find front court guys that want to go get a rebound, that are going to play with some physicality and some toughness up front there. That's what we're looking for right now.